it's, you make a call about something and then it's stuck in your head and it may not be true at all.
That's right. That took me a long time to learn
Well, then you're operating on a false assumption.
that.
So was that closer to what you wanted?
Oh, you know, Jim, I haven't even listened to it. I have been,
Oh, okay.
I have been back online for 1 hour. I had a whole day and a half off,
Good for you.
but I have a feeling it's going to be exactly right.
Well, it's interesting probably good for me to just read every word. Oh,
I had to I had to redo, all the classes I made when I was first starting them. I had to redo them many, many times.
yeah. Well, the thing is, if there's a paragraph that didn't work out too well, we can always redo it because since you have the editing capability of
Correct.
inserting a paragraph, I listened to it before, pretty good. I had a little trouble saying wash sponge.
Wash sponge.
Wash sponge. The
Well,
wash sponge.
that's
But
that's so like writing though, that do you remember the Christmas anecdote parable that I share every year about having to sing Excelsis Deo in choir?
in Excel, she's there. Yeah.
Eggs, shells, cease, and wash sponge. There's so many like that, but it's a little bit like half pass, like don't bring your outer leg back behind the girth until the engagement has inner engagement has gone through.
Well, wash sponge. See, if you take time, I didn't take time between the two words.
Correct.
That's sort of the message. And so I just realized that. So everything else, I was taking the time between the words. And um, sometimes it's important to have little phrases so it's not all chopped up. But yeah, that was the only spot. And looking back, I should have said wash and then said sponge, and I would have made it. But I sort of squished it all together. That's the only spot I didn't like. And then my computer voice recorder is a lot more, it picks up more than I thought.
Yes.
So you might hear breaths between sentences, or one time I think I had to swallow and I could hear it, but I think it's between paragraphs. So I think you have a way of cutting that out. If it even noticed it,
my policy with instruction videos is that they shouldn't be too perfect. They should be perfect in the information and the clarity, but if we tried to get we're not a production studio. We're
say, oh, like listening to the Canter, never did finish that. The Canter talk, reading. Some of it goes by fast, and even then I thought, I was thinking of that while I was doing it. Like, how would so I can keep up with the thoughts.
correct. Yes.
And but it's hard if you're just reading text. I can talk fast and I can read fast, so but it's a little bit like actors or professional voice artists, they you train yourself.
That was a very good turn. And the writing, we have to get, it's a language, it's a physical dynamic language that's in space. And we still have to have clarity and enunciation. That's the idea behind combined effects. That we don't combine the aids or the actions. The effects are combined.
Yeah, and that's a interesting concept to grasp.
Yes.
I've been yeah, it's just it never ends.
It never ends. And
Rearranging
my
my writing.
there's not really any new ideas. We could dwell in forward straight for the rest of our lives.
Maybe the combined thing is a little bit like here, inside seat bone to turn, but maybe if you didn't pick it up, he also understands that outside rein. So
Yes.
if he didn't, then I could turn him at the outside rein only, you know.
Yes.
So I can combine, if that's what we're talking about, I can combine this
That's
effect
exactly what we're talking about. And the way that
and this
the
effect.
French and Fort Riley said, they said every single thing in writing, all gates, everything, are derived from 4 elementary actions, which we request by the natural aids. Go, turn, stop, carry on, basically. These actions must be taught as soon as practicable, comma, and separately, comma, before they are, wait, what does it say? Let me get it exactly so I say it exactly right.
Is this from the cavalry school or?
Yes, this is Saumur and Fort Riley. It's I think it's section 14 or 22. All possible movements and all gaits, it's section 14. All possible movements and all gaits are derived from the 4 elementary actions, and it is necessary that they be taught as soon as practicable, comma, and separately, comma, before they are associated in producing combined effects.
Can you read that one more time?
Of course. All possible movements and all gaits are derived from the 4 elementary actions, and it is necessary that they be taught as soon as practicable, comma, and separately, comma, before they are associated in producing combined effects.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a mouthful. I don't know how you'd have to train it to understand it. I guess you'd have to ride that way.
Have you ever seen that T-shirt that I made several years ago, and separately with comma and separately across the boobs? I don't think
Right.
I love that, and separately. And remember how I used to, or how the major hazed me, and I have made lots of people uncomfortable telling the story about the way he would pour the tea.
Yeah. Well, for someone like me, the slowing everything down
Yeah. Yeah.
is especially for me. So it's good training, and other things about life.
Yes.
There's something interesting going on. Walking him around, so I was thinking of that rain aid, and then I thought, well, what? Now he's focused over there.
What's over there, Importante?
Oh, it's the out. When you pick up that rein, I mean, I knew that Bobby Ingersoll, of course, he's training the cow horses, but when he brought up that outside rein, it's kind of like teaching rein. He said, the old timers, they used to have a stick,
Yeah.
and like here.
Yes.
But I was playing with this, and I'm not using any other aid, and he's turning.
Correct. And you can do it
But
just with that aid. The
yeah,
aid works alone.
But if it doesn't work, you can do another one. But if you do it in a association with the turn,
Correct.
and this is where I try, it's not pressure release.
It's
It's
not pressure
associative.
release. There's no such
In
thing.
other words, if I start a turn, even if I start a turn with my weight and add this, that should start to make sense.
Well, if they're very
So,
obedient to my inner weight, they will start the turn, and that will make that outer rein touch their. It starts.
yeah,
It does it. It's just like when they engage, their rib hits my leg.
yeah, this is,
So that the combined effects almost happen on their own. Here's a crack at what combined effects are, because the dead men, every single one of the dead men, they all reference combined effects probably 2 or 3 times per page. I mean, all the time, right? But they never really said what it is. Tell me what you think about this. Combined effects equals the strategic and deliberate coordination of independent riding actions and the 4 natural aids to produce precise, intelligible outcomes.
can you read that one more time?
Combined effects equals the strategic and deliberate coordination of independent riding actions plus the 4 natural aids to produce precise, intelligible outcomes. And it goes on. This is the literal definition of equitation, the art of arranging and sequencing independent actions so their combined effects communicate thought through sensation.
What book is that from?
I wrote it last week.
Oh, that's very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The elementary actions and natural aids remain separate and independent, yet their deliberate arrangement, timing, and intensity can produce an infinite variety of combined effects. The horse experiences not mixed signals, but a coherent language of ideas, one he can both feel and interpret. Like any true language, it is built from clearly assigned meanings. In equitation, those meanings are associated mostly with physical sensations.
You know what? I'm surprised that they don't talk about as much is the effect of the eyes. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, the
looking,
eyes.
like I got a lot out of the canter, the pirouette last
Yes.
time of just looking. Like that's the first step. You haven't changed anything except turn your head,
Yes.
and
And
it's
actually
whether or
look.
not,
We have to actually look at the thing.
yeah,
We can't just pretend to look. We have to, when we see it,
uh,
and they didn't explain it, but they all told us to do it because they weren't medical doctors. And I think it would take
right.
it would take a scientist, which actually what it is, it's oculovestibular coordination, which is which goes to proprioception. I'm not educated in anatomy and physiology enough to do it, but it literally, if Durchlässigkeit is the goal of secondary or higher equitation, which is that the rider has a thought and the horse executes the thought, it it does make sense that it is literally a synchronization of the 2 nervous systems. And that would include the rider and the horse's vestibular and proprioceptive
Yeah,
system.
that's enough science for me.
Yeah. Okay. So the horseman wouldn't say all that shit I just said. He just says they'll go where you look.
Yeah, but it's if you wanted to validate it with science, you could.
We could.
But we already know that, so why do we need to?
We don't need to.
There's some blind, but people right now and
Blind.
that's
That's
people
kind of
say,
funny.
well, we have so much more science than they did
Yeah,
to
but can
improve
they
things. And,
can they canter on a circle? That's what I want to know.
yeah. Anyway, I realize it's going to take me a while to actually look. And like you say, it's not just keeping your head up. It's
It's
being more natural. Let's go over here and looking for the target.
and
But I just noticed
when the horses start to also look and see what we see, that is when in my opinion, that's when the riding gets perfect. And one thing to ponder, good, Jim. Yeah, very fine. One thing to ponder is that when you have the obstacles in front of you, the horses see and they know what they know. They're like, I got to go there and do that. But when we ride in the dressage arena, they don't, the target can only be imparted to them. The knowledge about the target and what we're doing can only be imparted to them through sensations. There's not you know what I mean. There's not, if you're going to enter this straight line, the end point of your line is imaginary, a mile away and a mile in the sky. But when the horses start to go, I know this line, and they go on it, that is when they are legit forward straight. Yeah. And that he's using his short sides to prepare for his long sides. Good. Keep your left arm low. Good.
that's hard.
Yes. Okay. Now he's starting to find his back. Yeah. That is plenty on the oval. Because now
Yeah, it's good. It warms me up a little bit too.
yes, and so what we're supposed to do, so what's supposed to happen on the rising trot oval is we're both supposed to find our rhythm. The horse is supposed to start to find his back and his footfalls, which he's done. I mean, it's really just those things that we start to loosen up and find our rhythms and he starts to find his back and his footfalls, which are according to the lines. Then 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, walk, rest. Then it's canter circles, go straight, a short segment, canter circle, go straight, a short segment, canter circle, turn around, do the other lead. But he's not all the way warmed up after the oval because he hasn't done his canter yet. But he has done his walk.
Yeah.
And now he's started to find his back and find his footfall.
The canter was where I felt he was lethargic the last couple of days. But we'll see how he is today.
Yeah. I've seen him more jumping in the canter. Yeah, he's a little behind your left leg, in my opinion. So make him canter every centimeter of this circle. And every quarter of the circle, you have to feel him go, I know where I am. Good. And then pick 2 marks on the circle where you will just let your outer leg at the girth bump him. So go straight now, then enter another circle.
Sorry. Stuck in the
Remember
circle.
how we did that on Friday, that there's one or 2 spots on the circle. I always do it on the center line, that my outer leg bumps them at the girth. Oh, don't let his butt swing right when you straighten his neck. Good there.
Soften his jaw. Okay, circle.
Yes, that's enough. Just,
Did you
it's,
see it?
it was too much even. You just have to do it. Don't expect a result. Just let your leg just clunk on the girth once. Soften and clunk and do nothing. Do nothing. Yes, because he will start to expect it and he will then activate as he crosses those lines. And the nearer the outer hind, good, that's fine. And now go straight, or actually you could change rein now, I think.
Done it on a 10 meters.
Good, lower your hands when you make your change. Is that your right? Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay,
Every centimeter in the canter. Every centimeter of your line of travel, centimeter by centimeter. Good. And then just think about his outer hind a little bit, that it is a little on, that it's with you, that it's close to the girth. The correct control of the outside hind quarter, that is the key to canter. Good. Now let's see if this checklist is going to happen, if this works. I think it will. I think your warm up is, oh, don't let his right hind get so far away from you when you lengthen. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, and then the right hind, right hind, right hind, bring it to you, bring it to you, bring it to you, bring it. Yes, yes, yes. Now that we have furthered the horse with patience and consideration to the point that he's able to carry himself on his own on straight and curved lines without requiring any other aid other than those that come on their own from the rider's soft, flexible, balanced seat, and we easily feel the inside hind leg underneath us during every stride, the time has come to move on to further perfect the pace and to prepare the horse for practical use with collected exercises. That looks a little better than that canter. Yes. Yep.
Get over there.
That's good. That's very much better. Good. Keep his neck, keep his little ears level. Good. Right shoulder down, left weight. Ah. He was late. Go do that one again in the exact same spot.
That's the lazy part I was talking about.
Yeah.
I could feel it because his hip, he hopped up.
Yep. So just give him a little kick left. Now leave him alone.
Kick left.
Yes. And change. Yes. Why? Why did I want you to kick left before then? Walk. Long rein. Why?
It's on the left lead.
Because it was about to become his new outer hind.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's this is a formula. This is long rein. This is a formula. Like, you can believe this and trust it as like a rule. It's a t-shirt. It's a tattoo. Outside hind in canter will fix things. And
did we try that direction again? Or?
I think let's do the other change. The right to left. And here's a little idea to put in your mind. Make your initial canter work of the morning tune him so that the first change of the morning is perfect.
Oop.
Good. Now get his left hind near you. It's yeah, that was a good strike off. I loved it.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah, they love seeing him canter. I do too. Good. Keep your left hand, straight line, elbow to bit, as low as you can stand, so that the fingernail of your left thumb is below the ridge of his withers. Good. Good. Now just gently coax that right hind near you. Coax it. I mean the left hind near you, sorry. Coax the outside hind near you. Good. Okay.
Oh.
Let's go back and do that. We have to redo it. Now, I should have said, for the canter quality, we want to coax the outside hind nearer to the girth. But for the change, you've got to make sure that the new outside hind, in that case, it would have been the right hind, was a little more attentive to your right leg. So make the strike off with, you got to do that one more time. Make the left hind a little more near the girth, almost renvers. Now, yes. And then as you approach the chain right now, make sure he's listening to your right leg at the girth. You listening? You hear me, man? Now leave him alone and then approach your change. Perfect. Good.
Just felt a little bit more on the aids there.
It looked very clean to me.
Well, you know, another thing I've noticed about him is
very straight. Good.
Is
that was a cowboy stop, but it was really good.
It's okay, working equitation.
I know, I was just teasing you in a way, but it was long rein. Leave him.
He's attentive to the bridle almost too much sometimes, and it prevents the forward. Like there's where contact I think is important. Like don't be so intimidated in the bridle that you don't.
Right, I know exactly.
You know, it's like riding from behind without crowding him, but that's why if you go hand first, it sort of shuts them down. And he's particularly that way. I wanted to tell you a story the other day about Ruthena.
Yes.
On that subject. So I had a pretty good couple rides on her. It was better than the one I was complaining about. But anyway, so walk, trot mostly. And she was trotting very nicely on the bit, and I'd slow down, I'd walk, I'd stop. But then I noticed, so I'd stop. When I went to restart her, it was like starting all over again.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why, you know, okay, you were great, you felt great. And now that first step of going was all sort of upside down and disorganized until she got it together. And I thought, you know, that's where, you know, we've said too much stop. In other words, everything just died, like turning the key off.
Yeah, we don't.
And
halt is not a stop. It is making the going. It's a halt of the thrust. It puts the thrust on a spot. It doesn't turn it off.
Well, yeah, and that was sort of what the discovery was. So I changed the way I started thinking about that, and I slowed the feet down. I could feel the hind feet stepping, so coming to a stop, and it was like this foot. There was a halt, but I didn't let it halt.
That's a hack. Yes.
I just tap the ground and leave again.
That is a combined effect.
I did that 3 times in a row. She gave me half steps.
Yes.
I thought she was going to peel.
Well,
and it was a big eye opener for me. Like,
yes.
Yeah, and because there again, I've got the ability not to make the same mistakes. And, I got enough cowboy in me. We're into stopping horses,
Right.
and nobody cares if when you leave, you just spur them and they go, whatever. But that was, I just realized, yeah, it's nice to have a horse that you can stop, but then it wasn't there. And then it's like,
They
well, come
didn't
on, let's
have
go.
going in it.
And then she sticks her nose up and everything's bad until you get it back together. And so I just paid attention to those walk steps until, like, if I wanted to completely stop them, I could, but I didn't. It's like they both went here, and right when they did
Yes.
that, we went. And so it was like a little bit more of a march.
Yes.
And then I'd use my seat and I say, she's going, are we going to stop? I'm like, not completely. And then one
That,
time I did completely stop, but then immediately went. And that's when she gave me the half steps. And I'm
that
like,
is
okay.
exactly that. So yes, Ruthena just taught in 10 seconds this is why dressage people, that's why we do so many transitions. We're not really just making transitions for obedience. We're combining the effects of going with the effect of slowing down or stopping. We are combining that effect.
And I really feel like that with him is what is the problem with the lead changes sometimes.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
because
I need him more forward. I need him forward, but still collected, just more back here.
Yes. Collected is
And
forward.
yeah, well, there's a good phrase right there. I like that.
Well,
Collection is forward. There's a meme we haven't done yet.
well, I think I have.
But so I
It's
was,
the most obvious. It collection has to be forward or it's not collection.
yeah, tell that to the French enthusiasts.
And let me just say one other thing, because I'm really happy that you felt that so clearly. And you did, that is the ultimate combined effect. Right?
Yeah.
And
It's also an amazing degree of control that you didn't even force upon the horse
no,
or
because she understood. She's like, oh, you want me to combine the effect? Okay. She had no trouble. Here's what she did. She experienced not mixed signals, but a coherent language of ideas that she could both feel and interpret. And she said, okay, I get it.
yeah, and those moments don't last long because she's still green and distracted. And I did it in the same spot,
Yes.
which helped.
Yes.
I don't think, but I did it in other spots. I said, okay, I went, all right, don't start screwing with that. But that's that. But so coming to this canter idea, what we just did, that last canter I did felt pretty good, and he felt way more forward.
Correct. Now by forward, just in case anyone else ever sees that, are you saying that he felt much more like he was deliberately advancing you guys?
Yeah, it was more
Wasn't an
deliberate back here.
addition of, it wasn't quicker or more ground cover.
And I just changed of course, like you say, I just waking him up to that leg aid, but otherwise I just went to then he got pretty straight, and then I just changed seat bows. But the canter never changed. And that's what I'm kind of after. And I watch the good horses, their canter never changes. It's beautiful.
Yes.
But his canter changes just a little bit. So I don't know if there's some more we should work on that.
I don't think
today or not.
I think here's what I want you to think about. And then if you only do what you just did, it'll be perfectly fine. But I want you to think about your first canter of the morning, which is just cruising around, making circles and then going straight a little bit. It must make the horse ready so that your first change is clean. That's,
yeah.
You can't no more of this, and I'm going to say it to everyone this week. No more of this warm up in the canter, and then we have to spend 3 minutes on making the changes clean again. Because what you first did, that's the point of making your first canter anyways, to make sure that he's in front of both sides of you, right? Sorry for, okay, very good.
Yeah, and of course, it's so important in the work in equitation. It was important everywhere. Like, you still get a little nervous about it. I should have a little more confidence. Interestingly enough, then when I'm competing, he never, I think he got sevens on his 4-loop serpentine.
Yes. Yes.
Change. Yeah.
Because you
change.
made sure before you went in the arena, his changes were clean before you went into the arena. But what I'm saying to you is, starting next week, your first changes of the day, you're not going to have to fix any changes anymore. Deal?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yes, that's the deal.
And then the other thing that I'd like to do after these finals are done is have a week or even 2 or 3 that we train on circles, and we train transitions on circles. Trot, walk, trot, canter, trot, canter, to get that through going, that forward through going that you felt with Ruthena all the time.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's.
Yeah, and really get the collection now activated, that it is, that you can call it up as you want. I think now you have a taste for it. Okay, I hate schooling things right before horse shows. I think you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got another day to ride.
Yeah. And just remember how we made that center line. You have your short sides are very composed now, and your turn onto the center line, turn in the corner, go straight, turn onto the center lines. The turn onto the center line sets up the straight. Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
And I got to remember, as soon as I look down, it falls apart.
Correct.
It's like it's just.
Looking down also makes changes sticky. I don't know why it makes them late.
And there you go. So that's the goal, is just to have. I know everybody does it, but
And I think I think not only the major says it, but I think others of them say it. Like, if you want to ruin your canter, look down.
boy,
I think you're very well prepared now.
hope so. I have to believe it.
I think this is I really appreciate these mornings of ours. I think this was a very organized. I mean, all we really did was warm them up, but I don't see the point in schooling too much now.
Yeah. Sometimes I go out to the obstacle and go around, and he knows enough of the obstacles. He kind of knows what he's doing. But I like the feel of that forward. I just appreciate that was like Ruthena slapping me in the face with something. So,
Oh my God, talk about babes. I mean, that's like it's like a teeny bopper explained physics.
yeah.
She's such a little.
And plus she's the Lusitano in her, makes those things pretty easy. It'd be easy to get greedy when they give you the half steps,
Yeah, you must. Don't.
I think that transition, but we did do walk, canter, walk on the circle with him. So I incorporated that in my warm up, and then it was you probably couldn't see it.
Oh,
When I was done, he said, "Okay, walk." I cantered.
I saw your right strike off, and I think I squealed.
Yeah, but the canter walk.
Oh,
when we were done after a change or something, I cantered. He said, "Okay, walk," and he cantered, and then he was walking.
Yeah,
that felt pretty good.
And the reason why is because the canter is collected, because it's a collected canter. It's not like you have to grind into him to half halt it to collect it. It is collected.
But then those little bumps are a little better than squeezing him and forcing him in there. Like, you know, it's without, that's the problem without, and then everything sort of wants to slow down or come front to back kind of feel.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like the idea, just little kicks.
Yeah.
You know.
Fix it forward, as Janelle would say.
And using, so on that canter, preparing, and he said, well, prepare the with your inside leg, but it's not to put a bend in his, it's not to put a bend in his body. It's just to get this over here, which is going to
Well,
be the new outs, right?
to get the canter quality we wanted, it was outer leg at the girth, and to prepare
Sure.
for the change, it was, hello, we're going to be changing legs now, so pay attention to this one.
Yeah, it's not about moving his body in a
No,
position,
you didn't move his
repositioning
body.
anything.
It was
That's
just,
what I was trying to say.
yeah, it's just like, wake up, young man. This is
Yeah,
coming.
and that's another idea about forward. It's like we get into thinking that any action of the leg is a lateral move.
Oh,
And
oh,
right, and that's
no,
really prevalent
that's not at
in,
all what the leg does.
yeah, that's really prevalent in the Western discussions I see,
Yeah.
the cow horse and the reining. You know, the spur is all, it's just about lateral or something.
You mean sideways, or do you mean one-sided?
Well, yeah, sideways is what it turns out to be. That's the common misconception. But granted, we need lateral, but that's not, without that forward, that
Right.
doesn't count.
My leg
So
at the girth stimulates that hind quarter.
I
And
have to kind of dig this out of these horses because I mean it's new to me, and
yeah,
I'm not riding schoolmasters. Although I did, you know, I did ride those two studs, which is pretty good. But Sue's got them now. Um, anywho, what do you say, bud?
Importante, are you ready?
And then we could work on job. It's gonna be really fast.